Is your Minecraft world plain, boring, and maybe even a little bit shit? Well, in this video, I'll showcase a bunch of unique and interesting builds I've created that should be in every Minecraft world, in my opinion. So, let's get straight into the first build. For the first category of builds, we'll be taking a look at a couple of different base designs, with the first one here obviously being the underwater base. So, not entirely the most practical base design, but it definitely looks really cool. So, this one's in a bit of a Subnautica kind of style base. If you know that game, it's a pretty good game. And yeah, so in that game, you can create like these big rooms, and then you kind of connect them up using hallways and stuff like that. And you can also stack them up as well, which is what we've done at the back here. And we also have our entrance down here as well. That leads up into our first room over here, where we just have like a bunch of random stuff. The interiors of these aren't really complete, and they're also filled with water. And then we also have this hallway here that leads into the back room, where theoretically you'd have like your bedroom, your storage, and just extra stuff like that, and also maybe even an indoor farm as well. Next up, we're taking a quick look at the large medieval farmhouse. Another really cool base design. This one's a little bit more practical, but it'll probably take a little bit longer to build as well, as it is pretty big and cool looking as well. So as you can see on the outside here, we have a nice little horse stable joined up to the house. And now we can head on inside to the bottom floor. As you can see, we have a pretty open plan setup down here, which is a direct contrast to above, which we'll get to in just a second. And so yeah, down here we have our smelting area off to the right with a nice little chimney thing that goes up. Over to the left here, we have our brewing area with a little bit of storage up here as well to store in your brewing materials. We've also got a couple little islands in the middle of the area just to take up some space. You could just store some random stuff in here or just use them as decoration, you know. Over here we have like a bit of a reading nook with a little extra storage. And yeah, so now we can head on upstairs, and as you can see up here we have a nice little layout with a hallway here that leads over to our attic and also some rooms as well. So in our first room we have our bedroom. We've got a bunch of personal storage and some barrels up here. We've also got a bunch of decorations as well on the wall over here, and a bunch of bookshelves too. And then over here in our other room we have our enchanting area and also our crafting area as well on the side here, with a little bit of extra storage on this wall too. And then that all leads up to our attic, which we can just head up the ladder up here into our offhand storage area. As you can see, we have a whole bunch of double chests up here, and we also have a secondary crafting area as well. Next up, we're taking a look at a couple of large farm designs. Definitely something that you'll be needing to create in your world at some point or another. And so for our first design here, we have a nice little tiered kind of structure to this one. So we've got 4 separated levels of farms, with the lowest one being here, and then it progresses up all the way up to the top one here. We have a nice little pathway that continues on throughout this entire thing, so you can easily access all of them, of course. And on each level, we also have a composter and a chest as well, just for some ease of use. For the next large farm design, we have this natural kind of river layout, or like a riverside layout, I guess. So we've got a bit of a man-made river down the middle here, and yeah, theoretically, this would continue on. It's not just going to be this square. This is just kind of like a chunk taken out of the theoretical entire build. And yeah, so we've got this man-made river. We've got a nice little bridge that goes over that. We've got some floating lanterns as well. And then we, of course, have our crop farms on the left and right side, and they also have some pathways that kind of run alongside them as well. I must say, this is probably my most favorite farm that I've ever actually made. As you can see over here, I actually made it into a fully fledged like design. We've got like a whole bunch of houses that line the side of this. We've got a river as well in the middle, and then we have our crop farms on the right side instead. And this would definitely be a really cool layout for a village or anything like that. And just as an extra little bonus build, we've got this like field crop farm thing as well. It's just pretty simple, but it definitely looks really cool when it's scaled multiple times. For the next large farm, we have this circular field design. So as you can see, we have 4 separated fields in this one, so that you can hold 4 different kinds of crops. We've got our entrance over here, and then our walkway is just entirely made up of trapdoors, and we also have water underneath, well, most of them, and that just makes it nice and easy to get water to all of them. You don't really have to worry about like placing it in specific locations. We've actually got an entrance on every single side. I kind of forgot about that. I haven't visited this build in a while, but yeah, something I'd definitely change is that it's not very mob proof. I mean, you can just kind of walk on in, so I'd definitely raise these walls up just to be a little bit higher so that mobs can't get inside and ruin your crops. And now for the final crop farm, we have something that was pretty similar to the one I just showcased before, except it's a little bit of a smaller design. So we've got smaller squares on each side, and then we have a bit of a wider pathway in between all of those as well. We've got a crafting table right in the center, and then we also have some storage stuff and some composters on the sides of each of these. Just before we continue, this video is sponsored by Clash Royale. If you're a fan of Clash of Clans, you're absolutely going to love this game. Clash Royale is a real-time multiplayer game that lets you battle against players from all around the world. It's fast-paced, addictive, and loads of fun. Personally, I'm already deeply addicted after a few rounds, and this is pretty much already my new favorite thing to play when I'm bored. Like seriously, send help. In this game, you get to play with your favorite favorite Clash characters, including the royals, princes, knights, baby dragons, and more. You can collect and upgrade dozens of cards featuring the Clash of Clans troops, spells, and defenses that you know and love. The goal of the game is simple: knock the enemy king and princesses from their towers to defeat your opponents and win trophies, crowns, and glory in the arena. With each victory, you'll move up in the ranks and unlock new arenas, new cards, and new rewards. Clash Royale has something for everyone, whether you're a casual gamer looking for a quick fix or a serious gamer looking for a challenge. The game is constantly being updated with new features, new cards, and new game modes, so there's always something new to discover in Clash Royale. Another feature that I and a lot of players really love is the clan system. When you join a clan, you're able to receive and give help to fellow members and compete with other rival clans. Clan members are also able to trade and donate cards to each other, initiate in friendly battles, and also work as a team battling in clan wars. I've also created my own clan that you guys can join. Just search DB's Empire, but hurry, there's only 50 slots available. And the best part, you can download and play Clash Royale for free right now. Just scan my QR code here and join the millions of players that are already battling it out in the arena. Alright, back to the video. Next up, we're taking a look at a couple of Nether Portal designs, with the first one here being a circular, futuristic style one. So as you can see on the inside here, we of course just have a normal square Nether Portal. You can't really make them circular, but you can give the illusion of them being circular by just encasing them in a circular design. And yeah, you can incorporate this in a whole bunch of different styles. I just really like doing it in a futuristic style because it looks pretty cool. Next up, we have this weird like tree stump thing. I don't really know what it's supposed to be. It's meant to be, I guess, like a tree stump, and then like the offshoots are kind of like starting new trees, I guess. It just looks kind of weird, but yeah. For the third Nether Portal, we have this simple little shrine build. It's definitely a bit of a weird one, but yeah. As you can see, we have this pathway that leads all the way up into the portal, and it's also on a deep slate platform as well, and we have a bunch of candles on these little podiums around the place as well. And then we've just covered up all of the exposed obsidian blocks with some spruce details like these. I reckon this would even look pretty nice without any of the spruce details, just having like a standard Nether Portal here. There you go. As you can see, it does look pretty cool. It'd probably look a little bit better with this being like elevated one block above and adding in some more slabs like in front of it, but yeah. And now for the final Nether Portal, we have this wooden medieval themed one. It's meant to be kind of like a couple of towers, and then in between that we of course have our Nether Portal here. If you don't like the all wood look, you could definitely replace these stripped spruce wood pillars here with some stone bricks or stone or anything like that, and then this inset block here, you could add in some more stone if you wanted to as well. Next up, instead of taking a look at some mine entrances, we're actually taking a look at some mine interiors. Something that I feel is not really that touched on. You kind of make the outside of the mine look cool, but then the inside is just like kind of boring. So yeah, in this build, I've spruced up the inside of this mine quite a bit. As you can see, we have these big pillars here that kind of support the tracks above. These would lead to, I don't know where they'd lead to, but yeah, we have one up here. We have another one all the way up here as well that kind of is in an L-shaped bend, and then we have another one down below as well. We've added a whole bunch of details to this cave, like some texture with some stone bricks and some andesite and also cracked stone bricks. We've added slabs and stairs around the place to make it look a little bit more interesting looking instead of so blocky. And we've also sprinkled in a whole lot of nature stuff, like some grass and then some grass. I mean, they both have the same name. Grass block, I guess, and then grass. We've added in some leaves, some vines, and also a little pond here with a bit of a waterfall leading down into that as well. Next, onto some more traditional style mine shafts. As you can see, we just have like a big corridor pretty much, and the first one here being the medieval themed one. So we've got a whole bunch of rails, some that go to the left and then one that goes to the right as well, and all the way at the end here we have a bit of an elevator design. I mean, of course it's not going to function, but it definitely looks pretty cool. You can maybe complete this bridge and then add in like a ladder down in here or something that goes all the way down. I mean, it's up to you. And yeah, back here we have some extra details like this nice little furnace area here, and then we've also added some barrels and chests and some extinguished campfires to look like little logs as well. For the next mine shaft, we have a bit more of a natural or like a lush themed one. So as you can see, we've got like a broken up railway here that then leads into like this big pond, and we've just added a whole bunch of lush and natural blocks around the place to give it a really nice look and feel. For the next one, we've kind of combined the previous two designs, so we've got like a bit of an overgrown like medieval themed one. So we've added in a little bit of a pond here, a bit of like a cave in as well, or like a natural pillar or something like that. All of the actual remaining structures like all wrecked and kind of just all over the place. And yeah, definitely just a really nice combination of the two previous designs if you like them both. And now for the final one, we have something completely different from all of the other ones. This one's more like an industrial or modern themed mine shaft or something like that. So as you can see, we have these two rails that combine into one over here, and you can flick between them using this lever. This goes over a bit of like a storm drain or like water reserve or something. I don't really know what it would be, but yeah. And yeah, so we've got like a nice little bridge that crosses this, and then that leads up to this big door here. A really nice detail of this build that I love is these pipes using these copper blocks, and also my favorite one over here as well is using lightning rods to make it look like a little pipe that just continues along the entire length of the ceiling. ceiling. Another detail that I really love is this fluorescent light design using a couple of levers pointing in towards each other and then some end rods between them. And finally, also this little control box thing as well that I made. Yeah, it looks pretty cool in my opinion. Next up, we're taking a look at a couple of biome-specific bridges. So pretty much just bridges that are made to look like they're surrounding biome, I guess, with the first one here obviously being a flower forest bridge. So the main structure consists of all of these pillars separated by 3 blocks in between. On the end ones, we have like these supporting little struts here that connect up to the pillar, and then we have this design underneath with a whole bunch of leaves, and this continues throughout the entire thing. We've also got a nice little railway above this on the like kind of main part of the bridge here. And then to tie it all together to the flower forest biome, we have this nice little platform at the top of the bridge that makes the roof. Up here, we've added in some leaves, a whole bunch of flowers, of course, and some grass as well to break up the flowers a little bit. And that also adds this really nice look underneath the bridge as well. We've also added in some hanging roots here, and it just makes it feel like you're walking through nature as you're going through this bridge. And yeah, I really love this bridge. Next up, we have the snowy biome bridge, or the tiger bridge, I guess. So as you can see, this one fits the biome by matching the block palette, I guess, of the surrounding area. We've used spruce wood and also dark wood. Don't worry about that. That doesn't really match the biome, but we just don't talk about that, okay? We've also added in some spruce leaves in between these just to add a little bit of greenery to the bridge. Underneath here, we have some nice arches that you can actually sail through. I think you might get damaged if you hit these spruce trapdoors, but we just, yeah, once again, we're not going to talk about it. And yeah, definitely like a nice little cozy kind of bridge design to suit the snowy biome. Next up, we have the dark oak forest bridge, and this one is just a simple archway kind of bridge, and I really love the way this one looks. It's just nice and simple, easy to build as well. You can sail under it. Once again, you might get a little bit damaged here, so you might want to lower the water if you're going to build this one for yourself, and I mean, want to be able to sail under it. And yeah, so this one just pretty much consists of this main stone area here, the part that you actually walk on, and then we've added in these side rails here with some dark oak and some other dark oak aesthetics as well. And to make this whole bridge look like we put a little bit more effort in, we created this nice little custom beach design over here. We've added some stones with some pressure plates and buttons. And then off to the right here, we have a bit more of a like custom swampy design with some green stained glass. On top of that, we have some sea pickles, and this kind of looks like reeds or something like that. Next up, we're taking a look at a couple of wall designs, with the first one here being the medieval wall. And I will just quickly say all of these walls are easily repeatable. You can just kind of continue this exact design off to the right or to the left or wherever you want to go, you know. But yeah, this medieval one is just pretty much made up of these stone brick pillars. We've also got a nice azalea on the central area. Towards the back, we have this strip log wall. You could also add a window in here as well if you wanted to. And then we have this nice arch design which holds our lantern, and then yeah, that's pretty much it for the wall. Next up, we have this nether or evil themed style wall, and yeah, as you can see, it's just a pretty simple wall. We've got a whole bunch of deep slate bricks for pillars, and they're kind of connected up using some slabs at the tops and the bottoms. We've also got these nice open fence gates as well. They kind of look like these supporting decorations or something like that. And then at the back here, we have some stripped warped, I'm not going to even try and say whatever the hell that is. Hi-Fe? God, who the hell knows? Next, we have a desert themed wall, and this one's pretty similar to the nether themed one in that we have a tower, but except the towers are on the left and the right side. These also all have these nice inset pillars with some stripped jungle wood, and we've added in these decorative signs to look like some kind of bracing or something like that. For the next wall, we have this Japanese style one, which is pretty cool in my opinion. We've got this nice roof design that you could just pretty much mirror on this side as well, and you'd mirror this exact same thing on the back. I just didn't do that because I am lazy. But yeah, so we've got these spruce pillars here. They're all connected up by using some spruce fence gates. Got a whole bunch of decorations around the place as well. We've got this nice like quartz wall on the back here. We've got these windows with some more spruce fences, and then in front of those we have a bit of a table with some plants in those too. And now for another couple of walls. These ones are a bit different. These are actually some modular house walls, and you could just pretty much use these to create an entire house if you wanted to. So the first one here is just like a simple wooden themed one. We've got a whole bunch of spruce pillars. They're all connected up with this design. This is my signature design at this point. I use this in a whole lot of my base designs. And then we have this nice window design as well with this archway and a azalea as well. For the next one, we have a bit of a darker medieval themed one. So we're using some dark oak wood, some deep slate for the walls. And then something as well that's really cool is we have this like double layered trapdoor thing going on here, which kind of looks like some half slabs, which is pretty cool. Next up, we have a bit more of a detailed house wall design here. So as you can see, we actually have like 1, 2, 3 layers of the wall here instead of just like 1 or 2. So the front layer here is just consisting of like a whole bunch of blocks that like stick out to add some extra depth. Then on the inside here, we have this nice like contained leaf section. We have a nice archway, and we also have our pillars here as well, made up of some stripped spruce wood. And then for the back here, we have our window using some cobble cobblestone and andesite walls, some glass panes of course, and yeah, it's just a pretty cool detailed wall design. And now for the final modular house wall, we have a bit more of a simplistic, completely stone one. Well, it's not completely stone, we've got a little bit of wood, but it's mostly stone and stone bricks. And yeah, so we've got the same contained leaf design, a bit of an arch design as well, and then we have our inset stone walls here with some nice spruce fence windows here. And yeah, so that pretty much does it for all of the house walls and regular walls as well. Alright, and so that pretty much does it for all of the builds I wanted to showcase. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.